No, just do it. Just do it. Just do it, I say.
Show with Bonds and Dan in a TV flow. Geeks for sure with tales to tell. Every Sunday is pretty swell. Good times here, you'll want some more. Remember days you can't ignore. Kids and family, friends so dear. Join us now, the crew is here. On the Artifact, save the world with Sarah at their side. Oh girl, Sunday fun with joy and cheer. Flip side, flip, flip, so revere. Shows from days gone by, epic moments never die. Internet was such a blast, fun with friends, let's make it last. Time to laugh and time to chat, geek out hard and that's a fact. Sarah's here to add the spice, memories that feel so nice. Love the Artifact, save the world with Sarah at their side. Oh girl, Sunday fun with joy and cheer. Flip side, flip, flip, so revere. Save the world with Sarah at their side. Oh girl, Sunday's fun with joy and cheer. Flip side, flip, let's all revere. Movie shows from days gone by, epic moments never die. Internet was such a blast, fun with friends, let's make it last. Time to laugh and time to chat, geek out hard and that's a fact. Sarah's here to add the spice, memories that feel so nice. Like the Artifact, save the world with Sarah at their side. Oh girl, Sunday's fun with joy and cheer. Flip side, flip, flip, so revere.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's show. We got the Force. If you can't do this, I'm sorry, but anyways, we're here to talk Star Trek with you. It's Dan's idea, I guess it was Pon's idea. Anyways, we got Chance here because he knows the dates and times, locations, and everybody's dirty little secrets. I don't know. Anyways, Chance, everybody.
Happy to be here with you, everybody.
Yes, and Chance, I know I said this earlier, but like I said again, congratulations on your second channel, hitting 1K. That's very awesome. You're doing amazing, but I know you can do it all along.
Sweet. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Right. And in chat, we have Esmeralda, we have Emily, we have Zop, we have Tracy, and Only, and there was a few others I forgot already. Sorry. I think Tim was there earlier. There we go. So hi, everyone.
Tom McClusk is here. Lance is here.
There you go.
Hey, Lance.
That entrance gets better and better every time, Sarah.
Oh, thank you.
It reminds me we're going to have to jump on talking about Elvira one day.
Oh, good. That sounds awesome.
You know she had an affair with Elvis Presley?
Well, who didn't? I'm just saying.
It's funny you mentioned Elvis. I had a dinner that was like Elvis Presley sized towards the end of his life. 5 fried eggs, bacon, biscuit, grits, waffles. Enough said.
How many deep fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches, though? Those always have to be present at an Elvis dinner.
0. You're right.
Elvis already.
That's my dessert. I haven't had it yet.
All right.
What was that thing in Star Trek where they would instantly in the classic Star Trek make that meal on the little tray? What was that called, Thrash or Dan or Sarah? Wasn't it called something?
Yes.
The food cubes? The food cubes you're talking about?
No.
Well, Replicator was in TNG on.
It was like in Tomorrow's Yesterday, season 1 with Captain Christopher from our time of the year of 1966. At that time, they make him he wanted some chicken soup, wasn't it? Or no, the other guy that got beamed up. It was like an Air Force officer got beamed up to the Enterprise, and he was like, "Would you like something to eat?" I think it was the transporter chief, and he says, "Well, how about some chicken soup?" And he goes to the device, presses a button, and out pops some chicken soup.
Yeah, I thought it was a food dispenser, maybe.
But there's a name for it.
Yeah,
in
I don't know.
In Charlie X, they name it too because
Yeah.
they're using synthetic turkeys, and they go, "I just checked the blah blah blah."
They
It has
were real turkeys. Yeah,
Real
yes.
turkeys. And Charlie
like, what?
Nicholson walks out.
And how many times have we seen it and we can't remember? It's crazy. You know, I've probably seen that episode 100 times.
Well, the problem is in Next Generation they call it the replicator because
Right.
it replicates everything. So all I can think of is replicator, but it was called something else in TOS. The
Yes,
food
I
repetizer.
can't remember what it was
It's
called.
called something else.
But
I
I know
don't
they
know.
had food cubes, and they were all excited about
Just
them.
so you know, my first answer was correct. It is replicators.
Oh,
there
I was
it is.
right.
Good
Do
job.
not challenge the Dan on Star Trek. I will
Well done.
Google it. I will Google it to prove my point.
I was overthinking it. I was right. Wow, that's one for Thrash.
Right on. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, Tracy. Yeah, see you in chat. Yeah, Rodak joins the mob in the next Space Giants adventure that will begin in March on my channel, The Nostalgic Pod Blast. Okay.
Tracy Turnblad. How you doing?
You know, being from a previous generation and actually being kind of older, I have nothing but respect for the new generation when I can pick my stupid phone up and ask it a question I need. It makes me feel so smart. I don't have to know that. What's this? What? Just like Star Trek, man.
Yeah, but you still have to know how to spell, so I'm not quite as happy with the future.
The future is what it used to be.
Well, that's true.
I don't know. The future seems to be looking better this week, but I'm not going to go into all that.
Well, okay then. Sounds like a plan. All right, so should we? I gotta bring up one of the. Yeah, so Dan tells me what to do, and I just do it real quick because I don't really. I can't read minds.
I'm teaching you to get used to that for the future.
For the future, huh? Well, why don't we start with
That was funny, Chance. I don't care what you say.
Well, okay, well, we got like this one here, right? We got like all of them I could find at once.
Yeah, we're going to see this. The game's going to be to see how many of these women Chance can name.
There you go. Anyway, so that's that for right now. So any of these women could be up on the thing that we're talking about. I don't know. I suck at like trying to figure out things when I don't have the little minute things down.
You do wonderful. You're the best producer on YouTube.
Well,
You know,
anyways,
since Chance is our guest, we should let Chance start and have him give
Yeah,
us
there you go.
the name of one of his favorite, shall we say, Star Trek guest stars.
Well, thanks. That's very diplomatic.
Chance can roll with it. I've seen Chance go for 6 hours. I say we just.
I'll go. I'll be quick. I do have a brief history.
Man, look, we're giving you the keys to the car, and we want you to go and tell us about Star Trek guest stars. Roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to start at the beginning.
Okay.
Classic Star Trek premiered on Thursday, September 8th, 1966 at 8:30 p.m. opposite My Three Sons and the start of the CBS Thursday Night Movie on CBS and the Tammy Grimes Show and the first color season of Bewitched over on ABC. So it had some tough ratings competition from day one on September 8th with The Man Trap, the first episode that was the 6th in production order, including 2 pilots. That was the first one that NBC aired with the Salt Vampire. And it had I guess it was a featured extra playing, you saw Jean Ball, right? She was the guest star. That was probably the first female guest star you saw in Star Trek in terms of the aired order. And she was, of course, a middle-aged woman, Professor Crater's woman. And then you had like a blonde. Now, the blonde is who I was referring to as the featured extra. I don't think she had any lines, but she was like this Ensign Darnell's fantasy woman, from His Mind and the Monster,
Right.
The Hypnotic Effect, right? So those are the first women you saw right in the teaser before the opening credits of the very first aired Star Trek. Oh, I didn't mention also that, of course, Star Trek got bowled over and clobbered in the AC Nielsen ratings So what did the network do with season 2? NBC, the execs and the programming people moved Star Trek to Friday night at 8:30 p.m. opposite Gomer Pyle USMC and the start of the CBS Friday night movie on CBS and Hondo on ABC. How crazy is that? It was a youthful audience. Friday night, that's when the new movies come out. You have high school football during football season.
School dances, yeah.
Date night. And then in their infinite idiocy, NBC programming executives moved Star Trek up on Friday night to 10 p.m. for season 3, opposite the CBS Friday night movie and a show called Judd for the Defense, which starred Carl Betts, who played the dad on the Donna Reed show previously. And that show aired on ABC. And then for summer reruns starting in June of 1969, Star Trek went to actually a really good time slot for the last months of Star Trek's network run. It went to Tuesday night at 7:30 opposite The Mod Squad on ABC and a show called Lancer on CBS. And then Star Trek ended its network run on September 2nd, 1969 at 7:30 p.m., which was a rerun. So my number one pick of a Star Trek I'm just doing the original series. I know you guys and gals are going to talk about The Next Generation and Enterprise and all the rest. I'm just going to stick to the classic show when it's my turn to talk. So I'll give you my number one pick, Sherry Jackson from season 1's What Are Little Girls Made Of, which was written by Robert Bloch, who wrote Psycho, the Alfred Hitchcock, really good. Alfred Hitchcock classic film. I tried to say, okay, Hitchcock and classic at the same time there. Hitchcock. I'm going to, there's something I could write there. I know. Anyway. And so Sherry Jackson, I just thought she was awesome. And she was also in Lost in Space the season before in a black and white episode called The Space Cropper. So I like that that has nothing to do with Star
Trek. Oh my gosh.
Sorry. She's actually the only actress to appear in The Twilight Zone and Lost in Space and Star Trek.
And Batman.
Yes, I'll give you that one too. But
hi, Starkey.
There's a lot of people who do 2 out of 3, but she's the only one who's appeared in all 3 of those shows.
And she's still with us. Knock on wood. She's so sexy. She played I'm Andrea. She had that great voice too. And she came from the Danny Thomas Show. She was the elder daughter on the Danny Thomas Show, which a lot of people know as Make Room for Daddy, which is what it was titled for reruns. So Sherry Jackson's my number one pick.
Which also Veronica Cartwright was in that as well, by the way.
Yes. Veronica Cartwright was in I Sing the Body Electric and The Twilight Zone, among many other things. Were you talking about Lost in? Angela Cartwright.
For Daddy.
Angela. Well, Veronica's her older sister, but close enough. Angela Cartwright.
I'm sorry. I meant Angela. Thank you.
Yeah, Angela was Linda. Veronica was in the movie Alien, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. At the end, the classic when the classic shot of her going up to Donald Sutherland's character, and he's been taken over, and she doesn't know it, and he.
Yeah. I just watched that movie again the other day.
I know the distinction between the two of them, and yet for some reason I always mix their names up. I have a mental block. A mental hitch block.
I see what you did there. I like that.
Yes,
she was in Daniel Boone, Veronica, though. She was in Daniel Boone, so I'll shut up. Daniel Boone.
I think you're like a superhero, like one of the Avengers. Your memory and the way you remember all these names and all these facts make you a superhero.
You're so kind. Thank you. I'm going to stop talking now. I said I'd be brief, and I went kind of long there. Some history of Star Trek.
Yeah, don't do the thing we're supposed to do. Shame on you or something.
Oh no, you do great, man, because you're educating us all on stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to hit the buttons. Did you know that all the chats are very active? It's amazing. So yeah.
I have to interject just because she's probably my personal favorite as well, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of close calls. She's on my list, and if I had to pick one, she'd be the one, and I have to stick in a couple of fun facts as well. Her stepfather, speaking of Twilight Zone, was a man by the name of Pittman, who directed a number of episodes, particularly my personal favorite. He directed 2, which was a post-apocalyptic love story with speaking of Bewitched, with Elizabeth Montgomery and a very young Charles Bronson. But one thing, and this is kind of tacky, but I love to bring it. Everybody wonders The dress she wore in Star Trek was basically two straps, two horizontal straps, and that was it. She wore no undergarments underneath. And that really struck a chord with me when I was in middle school, and I remember seeing that episode. The way she had to wear it, they placed double-sided tapes strategically on her body so that the dress would not move during takes. And the woman's a trooper if she could put up with that. Because, little secret, double-sided tape today is very uncomfortable. Double-sided tape 50 years ago, I imagine, would be much more so.
Right?
So you got to give her special props just for wearing that dress.
Absolutely. It's kind of like Princess Leia, right?
Yeah,
They had
right?
to tape her down. Lucas taped down her chest, or ordered the wardrobe people to tape down her chest because she was so well endowed. And he's like,
Yeah.
be a
I
little
I can
distracting.
imagine that would be awful, okay?
Oh, yeah.
As
Sarah
somebody
can-
that's
Sarah can relate more than most of us.
boy. Anyways, I would still have black eyes taking the tape on, okay? That's just how it is.
Go
Just
ahead,
saying.
Sarah. Who was your favorite?
Oh, as guest ladies, I guess I never really
Star.
thought about it like that so much, but I would have to say that I know she's not really a guest person, but she felt like one when I was a kid would be Yeoman Janice, right? Yeah, her. Because I liked her a lot, and then later on I chanced to feel being about they just sort of didn't call her back to work.
Yeah,
And
I
I
wouldn't
thought that was
exactly
weird.
call her. She
Yeah.
was actually a crew member cut from the
I know,
team
but
kind of thing,
when I
right?
was a kid, it was like
She
she
was
was a
one of them.
special guest star because I liked her so much, and then she was just not there anymore, right?
It's
So
sad though that
Yeah.
her roles were so few and far between. You think of her as a guest star.
Well,
Yeah,
she does
I
deserve a
did.
shout out. She should be
I
on
did.
this list, so I'm glad that we mentioned
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah, but like I said, when I was a kid, yeah, I definitely felt like she was. Like I was like, oh, yeah, she's here. And then that one where Kirk gets turned into two people, right?
Mhm.
Nice person, mean person, right? That was like some of the
The
best
Enemy
acting I
Within.
ever saw from her. She was awesome in that role. She's great.
Grace Lee Whitney is the actress's
Mhm.
name.
Yeah,
And
I liked her a lot, and she did feel like a guest star because she wasn't there a lot, but when she was there, she was memorable to me.
she was in all these publicity photos. She was one of the main three, even more so than McCoy. If you go by the publicity photos, I'm holding one up right now.
Right.
Yeah, and it was allegedly because of alcohol and weight gain that someone in the brass at NBC said, we also don't want Kirk tied down with just one person. If you notice her last real episode, Mary, there's a real romantic scene with her and Captain Kirk with
Yeah.
the disease.
She's like, I always wanted you to look at my legs. Look at them now. And she's like, and I was like, oh, like, you can feel that. You can feel that, man.
There was a lot
It
of
was
good
awesome.
Okay, go
chemistry between the
That's
two.
all.
And then also in the Balance of Terror, you remember she comes up against Kirk in a real romantic shot when they think they're going to be obliterated by the Romulan energy weapon.
Right.
When it
on.
fires.
If you heard anybody? I was talking to the dog.
I
Okay.
did wonder.
Well, I wasn't paying attention. When Dan just runs his mouth like that, I go,
Who's in love with my hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Mm.
That weapon you only saw in Where No Man's Gone Before that Kirk's
Right.
holding, that
Right,
laser
yeah.
rifle. Yet
Mhm.
that is a regular season uniform Kirk's wearing. So I think they were going to use it. Maybe they lost the prop. There's got to be a story there.
They lost it.
It was very cumbersome.
It got
Yeah,
stolen.
It was kind of
Maybe they
ungainly.
didn't like the way it looked on camera because it does look a little wonky.
It looks
Well-
lightweight too. It looks like it doesn't weigh much. The way Kirk held it, it looked kind of fake.
Well, if you think about the other series when they had their phaser rifles, they held them like it was like they weighed a lot, even though they looked even less than that. And then they had the compression phaser rifles, and they acted like those things packed with a wallop when they looked exactly the same when they fired. So I don't know.
Yes.
And Chances has all the pictures.
Yeah, I'm trying to have some visual aids. I'm going
We
to
love
steal
the visual
topic
aids.
from my show. I think it's a great topic. The women of Star Trek.
Yeah, well, they're awesome.
They were like the pre-Bond girls. Well, no, Bond was already out. Bond was out in '62. Never mind. Strike that from the record.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one at you. And this is my favorite woman guest star from Star Trek, and that was, of course, the incredibly cool Yvonne Craig, the green chick, and also a lot of that is the way she looked in the Batgirl outfit.
Yeah, she was well endowed too, for sure. If you ever see the Batman surfs up Joker's under, I have it on film. She's on the beach in a one piece. I mean, she's laughing and she's shaking and watch the show, she's laughing. The scene begins. She's laughing. This guy Skip, a surfer, and I mean, those are real.
Why did the 12-year-old me have a crush on her? I can't remember.
Gee, I wonder why.
Hey, Mom. Look, everybody, my mom's on Facebook watching, so that means she's watching on your thing, Chance. So, again, my mom loves you, Chance.
Hey, Gene, we'll be back.
Yeah.
Dan, great pick. And what about Eddie Murphy doing a joke about that? Captain Kirk would F anything that moves. I'm not going to cuss. And he goes, remember when Kirk F that green bee?
Yeah.
Wasn't talking about the Orion slave girl because Kirk wasn't in that. That was Captain
No.
Christopher Pike. He's talking about Yvonne Craig.
Right.
And she did. She seduced him in the bed. And the one time, there one time it was really explicit where Kirk had sex. He's putting his boot on. It was in Wink of an Eye, season 3.
Wink of an Eye, yes. I was just going to mention that one. That
obvious.
was a really good episode there. Yeah, he's all putting his boot on afterwards, and she's just like brushing her hair. You're like, well, I don't know what they did. That's a crazy thought.
But the sexiest, most erotic scene in all the original show was with my number 2 pick. I'm not trying to skip ahead. Nancy Kovac in A Private Little War, the Vietnam War analogy episode, where Kirk's been bitten by the Mugatu and she's trying to cure him, and it's like she's on top of him. He's under the quilt, under the animal skin. It's like, your pain and mine, and it's like it looked like they're having sex.
It certainly did.
Right, yeah. Also, that's a very interesting one for the Prime Directive. None of we're supposed to know about him, but that one guy knows. Like, what?
No interference.
And not that I have no great love for the new Star Trek movies, but you got to give credit where credit's due. They did pay homage to the Yvonne Craig character by having Kirk get caught with a green chick in the Star Trek reboot series.
Yeah.
The new movies.
Yeah.
How did that green makeup not come off? Like Lou Ferrigno had that problem a lot in the early Incredible Hulks, especially like where he's fighting a bear. You see the green makeup all over the bear and Death in the Family.
Actually, I think they use a CGI now and just kind of pencil in the green. I don't think they're actually really green no more.
I mean, back then when Kirk was in bed with Yvonne Craig's character, how did the green not? I think he did actually. I think you did actually. If you look closely especially with Blu-ray and HD, look at Kirk's hands. I think some of the green did come off.
Yeah, well, when you get with the green chick, something's going to rub off. But they did use the same kind of oil-based paint. Later on.
Emily Miller brings up a good point about married couples on TV in the chat.
Right.
But heaven forbid married couples like Lucy and Ricky and Rob and Laura sleep in the same bed. A lot of so-called TV historians have incorrectly said the Brady Bunch was the first classic TV show that showed the married couple in the same bed. No, Bewitched showed that. Bewitched, they were in the same bed all the time, years before the Brady Bunch even hit the scene. I'm not saying it was the first, but I know Bewitched predates the Brady Bunch. Sorry.
Well, for crying out loud,
Chance.
The first show to even show a toilet in the bathroom was Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, it was? Okay, yeah. I'm thinking
Leave It
of
to
the
Beaver.
Flush. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The Flush, I believe, was later on. I believe
That was
Oh,
Alfred
family.
Hitchcock because they showed the toilet in there. It was like lobster. Never mind about the murders and everything. The toilet was the thing that caused it all. I'm sure. I know every time I see the toilet, I want to murder.
You'd see a sink and a shower, but you would never see a toilet. And you know what? Little secret: every bathroom in the country has a toilet, so it's no big secret. But people were just
Some
foolish about stuff.
bathrooms even have 2 toilets. It's crazy. Maybe even more than 2.
Trash and Dan. Actually, I tell you what, remember this. What about those fuzzy toilet? The fuzzy toilet cover. That's the nasty thing. In other words,
They were
piss and urine all in that thing. It's
That's
disgusting.
gross. I hate that. Yeah.
Mary Kay
yeah.
and Johnny.
Thank you, sir.
No
It showed
kidding.
the first TV show, a married couple in bed with Mary Kay and Johnny. In the same bed, not bunk beds, because Patty Duke show still had the stupid bunk beds side by side with mom and pop.
That surprised me because for some reason when you said that, I was thinking it was Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore. But I guess that one needs more debating and more research because in my warped memory from my Mandela world, where some things don't, I remember Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore shared a bed in their show, the Dick Van Dyke Show.
I
Okay.
I almost watched it the other day, but I found Kojak on instead.
Just that I hadn't seen it in 50 years, so I could be wrong.
Well, I gotta tell you guys, great minds think alike because
Mm.
Nancy Kovac from Private Little War
Yeah.
and Yvonne Craig from not Dagger of the Mind. What was the
Whom
episode?
Gods Destroy.
Whom Gods Destroy, which I actually think is an amazing episode.
Yeah.
But both of those ladies were actually on my list. And I'm going to, just for the sake of symmetry, I'm going to, for my next one, I'm going to add the other green girl from TOS. And that, of course, is Susan Oliver, who played Vina in The Cage / Menagerie, and whatever her incarnations was as a Green Orion slave girl, which was really hot, if I remember correctly.
You just can't go wrong with a green chick.
Yeah, and then you find out later on that it's them that have all the power, not the men, because everybody's just drawn to them. It's crazy to find out all that stuff about the Orions and all that. Anyway, Star Trek is awesome. Up and
Yeah,
Gamora
but-
too. I'll add Gamora to the Green Girl fantasy
Here's
god.
where it's kind of weird. I've got a lot of little Star Trek miniature figures. I've been trying to collect the whole little series. I don't have the little Mr. Spock, but I've got all the other guys, right? And I've only got 2 chicks. One of them is Uhura, but the other one is the Star Trek green chick.
Uhura, yeah.
It's the only other chick I got from Star Trek, the green chick.
Emily Miller saying, I didn't think Rob and Laura ever shared a bed on Dick Van Dyke Show. Did they? I don't know. I didn't watch that show, so that's a blind spot to me. The Dick Van Dyke Show.
No, I
I've
remember that Mary Kay and Ashley Shunny talking about or whatever it was.
okay.
What was
I
it?
know.
Mary something. Hold on. Mary
Okay.
Kay and Johnny. I don't even remember that show. I don't even know what that is.
Great
I
pick,
don't-
Thrash. Susan Oliver. Yeah, she had those beautiful blue eyes. Did she not?
Yes,
It was
she-
so cool. Remember when the cage came out in color? When Gene Roddenberry found it, he pulled the
Yes.
Jack Gleason.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
found the cage, and he first released it in black and white at work print, and then
Mhm.
in 1990, right before he died, the color version hit VHS store shelves.
I remember getting the VHS of it, right? With that I remember getting that, right? And it,
Yep.
we watched it, and I was just a little kid still then, right? So I was like, wait a minute, this is the first one because I had never seen it before, right? And I had only seen, where it starts off with like Picard or Kirk and everybody got those weird powers, right? So that's the first one I ever saw at the time. So when I saw this, I was just like, well, where's Pike?
Right. Hey, Thrash
Yeah.
and Dan, Sarah knows the answer to this. Can you tell what the blooper is on this case I'm holding up? You don't need to make me big or anything. You can see it close up. It says The Enemy Within. That's the original 1985 VHS release from Paramount Home Video. Can you tell what the blooper is? The Enemy Within? I'll give you a hint. It's something to do with the photo.
Yeah, it's a different photo from a different series, or a different show.
That's it. It's the shot from What Are Little Girls Made Of?
Yeah, I made a big
With
down.
the android Kirk
Yeah.
and the human Kirk, and they
Yeah,
put the wrong photo right on the cover. They corrected it later, but on the
I think
Laserdisc they had it right. It showed Kirk on top of Yeoman Rand, the evil Kirk, like basically attempting rape.
Right.
Anyway,
Well, the thing is too is like that episode what I thought was very funny is on how they made the android. They spun them around. I was like, okay. And then you see like Picard stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know how to make androids. I don't care anymore.
U.S. military censored that. I had a military print when Kirk spins around. You can't really see Shatner's crotch, but it's kind of like you can. And I'm serious. They intentionally splice that out. I sold that. Thrash, you'll love this. Thrash and Dan. I sold my military print to Sherry Jackson herself
No.
in California, and I feel bad. I charged it. She paid over $200 for it. She won it off eBay. I've listed it on eBay, and I wish I had it back. The color was faded, but it was a great print from the military. It had the A farts, that's what it is. That's what the military logo at the end, and after the Desilu logo, and they had spliced out that little bit. Isn't that crazy? Of Kirk spinning around, the android Kirk,
Yeah.
because they thought you could see his wee wee.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was a perfect print. It even had like a motorcycle safety ad. They had like these PSAs in it. But I feel bad. I should have just given it to the lady. But she won it off the auction. Anyway, $250.
Mike Cameron just went. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. We lost Pawns.
Yeah,
She was
Kurt-
nude, by the
Kurt
way,
Russell
and
camera.
she was Sherry Jackson was nude in Gun, the Peter Gunn movie of 1966, and Playboy did a pictorial of still shots from that film. And that film is very hard to find. At least it used to be. Like you could find it in England, but it's called Gun. You know Peter Gunn. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
that's a great
dun.
show.
Yeah, and they did a movie, Gun, with the same actor, same everything. Craig and Sherry Jackson was in it, and she's freaking topless in that movie.
I've never heard of that movie.
Gun, yeah, and it's from the same year she did her Star Trek appearance, and she was in Batman, as I mentioned earlier. She played the Riddler's woman in season 1 of Batman.
Here's one you probably don't know the answer to. In the episode of Star Trek where the Gary Seven guy comes back to help mankind, you know the episode?
Time on Earth. Yes, it was a backdoor pilot. Yes, season 2 finale. Correct.
He has a cat that changes into a chick.
Right, yeah, that's a good one.
Who was that incredibly hot chick that played the cat girl? And why even though her scene only lasted 8 seconds, to this day,
Uncredited.
I still remember it dearly.
Uncredited. I'll give you the answer. Uncredited role. Yeah, that was supposed to be a spinoff, and Terry Garr's in it. A young Terry Garr, 20 years old. And Terry Garr was in Batman previously too. The first Mr. Freeze episode, season 1, by the way.
Terry Garr does a great job, but she does not steal the show. Cat chick does.
I agree. She looked like Elvira, kind of.
The funny thing about Terry Garr is if you look really closely in those old beach movies, and a lot of them, she's a background dancer. She and Tony Basil were best friends. And Terry Garr actually got her start as a dancer in Hullabaloo. And so what happened was when, as you know, Tony Basil choreographed all those old beach movies. So a lot of times she would cast Terry Garr as one of the dancers.
Wow. Yeah, she was a dancer. You're right. I did a whole show when she passed a Pod Blast. You're absolutely correct. Hey, to Joe Gutfeld watching Facebook Live. He chose Diana Muldaur and Jill Ireland as one of his favorites. But I don't. Danny, I got your answer. Her name's April. April Tatro was the human cat, Isis the cat.
Chance,
April
UFO man
Tatro.
saying congratulations to you.
Thank you, UFO man. April Tatro. Uncredited role. She was a featured.
Was she ever in anything else? Was that just the only thing she ever did?
I'll let you know. Let me do a little homework because I don't know if
I'm interested. I really want to know because that's an 8-second part that sticks in your mind for life.
That's right. I'm sure Shatner had his way with her off camera.
Oh boy,
It's good to be the shot.
It's good to be the Shat.
It's gonna be the shot. I love it.
Oh my God, she was also known for being an actress in Big Top Pee Wee Herman in 1988, and she was in Wonder Woman in 1975. Hold on, man, you just opened up a good can of worms.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
Holy, I didn't. I'm gonna have to look for her in Wonder Woman. Hold on now. What the hell?
So much I did not know.
Are you
know-
pooping me? God,
That was silly. Okay.
glad you brought that up. She was in Days of Our Lives. I'm sorry.
Another
She was in Malcolm in the Middle. Go ahead.
Another one that I think was pretty cool is the Sylvia and Korolev one, right? When the Sylvia chick,
The twins.
she reminded me of my dad's mom. She used to do modeling back in the day, but anyways, she just reminded me of her so much, like in that episode. It was one of my favorite episodes too, and you know they put the Enterprise in the clear stuff, and then over the flame, everything's too hot. Yeah, it's awesome. I love
wait.
that one. The Halloween type thing, great.
Oh, you're talking about Cat's Paw.
I don't know what it's called, but it's the Sylvia and Korolev one where they go to the planet. And there's like Halloween type themes, and these people have
Cat's
their little
First
there you go.
episode shot for season 2. Yes, yeah.
I
That's
thought
what
you
I'm talking about. Terrible wig.
It's like a witch.
I
Terrible
thought you were
wig.
talking about the two Alices from
I did too.
High Mud.
Oh
did
no,
too,
no, that's
which are good
very
too.
different. That's
But-
very different. Yeah.
Yeah, Luis Sorel.
The Days of Our Lives. Louise Sorel, season 3. Yeah.
Yeah. But I always thought she was really cool. So
Well, that's Requiem for Methuselah. I was reading the wrong name, but yes, the lady from Cat's Paw was amazing in that movie, and the guy who was in it was from, of course, he was the head of Thrush in
Man from Uncle.
Uncle, and he was
Yes.
actually from Massachusetts, died tragically in a car accident. But that Halloween episode is a great episode, and that lady did very well. And yes,
Well, yeah.
she was
That Bauer.
stunning. She
But
was
yeah,
stunning.
because at first
She's wearing
when
that
you were
bad
talking
wig.
about
Yeah.
first when you told me about the chick that turned it from the cat, I was like, well, there's a couple episodes like that. So that was my other one I went to was that one. So they're both good ones. So anybody who turns into a cat is awesome. Okay.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, what else was Louise Sorel in, by the way? You said she was in something else?
She
Days
was
of Our
known for
Lives?
Days of Our Lives, for sure. And she was in The Fugitive. She played Dr. Richard Kimball's dead wife's younger sister, had a crush on him in a season 2 episode. She was in a great Fugitive. It's called The
just hope you're gonna
Survivor,
do like-
Helen
I hope
Kimball's
you're gonna do
family.
a special on this girl and just tell everybody all about her.
Louise Sorel is very well known to Days fans. I mean, she played. If Tracy's still out there, she knows all about Louise Sorel, and she played a wicked character on Days of Our Lives until she retired. She was on it for like 40 years, 45 years.
Well, the amazing thing was she was blonde, but she had those gorgeous brown eyes. And that's a very rare combination. And I thought it really worked on her. She was just a breathtaking woman.
And wasn't it creepy when we saw the android discarded versions of her with the skull cap, the bald cap, like they're just heads sitting there on the table when he took I think it was Kirk who opened the sheet and you saw like the mechanical parts. I thought that was creepy.
Yeah, I could bring up some rubber people from the show last night. But
I think they borrowed that scene when they were doing Aliens 4. Remember when they go to the science lab and they see all the half executed Ripleys, and it's this really disturbed scene. I think they borrowed from Requiem for Methuselah.
Hey, may I say, Dan, your Catwoman there, April, she was also in Laugh-In as a contortionist with Raquel Welch in 1971.
That'd be hot.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
she was in Wonder Woman, played Betty Lou in Beauty on Parade, season 1, episode 3, where there's a beauty contest.
I've got that on DVD.
She's in it. She's Betty Lou.
Oh, I love
Wow.
Murder, She Wrote.
Now I'm gonna have to plug up the DVD player just to check that out.
She was in Family Matters. All right, well, we got to get back on track. I'm digressing too much, but I just wanted to follow up with you. And the big top, Pee Wee Herman's she played the human pretzel in
I'm
1980.
really hoping you do a little special show about her and cover
That's
all
a good,
this.
I'm going to write that down before Dave Sundstrom takes that. That's a great idea. You like to do those. Where are they now? That's a good one. I got to get that.
I'm a competition with no one.
Who's up next, by the way?
Your turn.
You.
You tell me.
Me? All right. Excellent. I'm going to go with one that is a rare case, one that did not end up with Shatner. This lady actually ended up
Me.
with
Oh,
Spock.
that's not me. Then.
You can dream, Tracy. You can dream. The lady who was not Mrs. James Garner, but the ever beautiful and talented Marion Hartley.
Yes.
From the episode, one of my favorites, All Our Yesterdays.
Yes. Zarabeth. Yes.
Very good, Zarabeth. And I thought the chemistry between her and Spock was outstanding. I never realized what a gorgeous woman she was. I mean, she was always an attractive woman when she did those commercials and everything, but she was actually breathtaking. And I really thought, I wish we'd seen more of her. I wish they'd done a sequel. In fact, there was, someone wrote a fan fiction novel about that, where she becomes pregnant with Spock. And the child she has turns into this great warrior prince type situation. But of course, it's thousands of years ago. So it creates this like super race of quasi Vulcans. Never found the book, but I heard about it. But I guess it's an amazing fan fiction. But I wish they'd done more with that story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I should have
That's a great
published
pick.
some of my fan fiction. That sounds kind of on par with what I wrote. Anyways, never mind that. Okay.
That's one of my picks too, Thrash.
Like I
Mary
said, great
Hartley.
minds think alike.
Yeah, and just her character. I loved her character and the tragedy of her being banished to a frozen wasteland for all eternity. And she got
like Greenland.
She got Spock to eat meat too.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
reverting to the primal Vulcan mentality.
yeah.
Stop to eat meat.
Yeah, they're supposed to not supposed to touch food with their hands either, but they always did. But then one time in Enterprise, T'Pol said they weren't supposed to, as she then ate food with her hand. I don't know. It was weird. But anyways, Star
Well,
Trek,
I like
everyone.
Spock's chemistry
Not
with her. I
Louis.
agree wholeheartedly with Thrash. Better than with Droxine in the Cloudminders. Remember the blue? You see the blooper where Leonard Nimoy puts his finger in her belly button? Droxine. Oh yeah, I have it. I'm gonna put it on my channel if you hadn't seen it. It's pretty funny. And she just nods her head. Yes, yes. He puts his finger right in her belly button.
Yes, I've seen that, but of course I have.
Excellent.
I
So,
traveled the circle of comedy.
I've
Wow.
lost track, but I think you're up now, Sister Sarah. So please
Me,
give us a pick.
I took my turn ahead of you guys, so I already went twice. So
Okay, so that means, Danny, it's you.
yeah, it's Dan's.
Well, there's only one thing to do, and that's show that picture. Show that picture that's Ricardo Montalban related.
Oh yes. Okay, so we are now going to. Oops, I hit the wrong thing. We are now going to the most epic picture of all, right here.
Oh my god! Look at us.
Look, ladies, Chance is ripped. Okay,
Oh yes, Hulu, yeah. On God. Oh my.
there you go. Chance is ripped, everyone. So now you know. Okay, this is the truth. And Pons has been calm the whole time with his wife's glasses. Who knew? And Dan is obviously Kirk, and I'm obviously an adult woman that was born before I was. So there you go. Anyways, this was Dan's idea.
Excellent. Love it,
Yeah.
Dan. Love it, Dan.
And
I have done worse than hurt you.
But
I just
everybody's
want
got to
everybody-
admit, of all the guest stars on Star Trek, knowing he ain't a girl, and everybody's been naming hot chicks. It is about guest stars and not just females. Ricardo Montalban is the greatest guest star of all time.
Oh yeah, yes.
And that
Definitely.
not only because he's just probably the best actor they had playing a guest star, but because he's actually the one that went on to be in Wrath of Khan and had a legacy in Star Trek movies, which makes him the greatest. Don't you agree?
Well, Kondanian Singh is
Yeah.
one of the most interesting characters. I mean, you have to bear in mind, he is like a mega bad guy. He's up there with like Napoleon and Hitler and those guys. He's the one who fought the eugenics wars.
Yep.
And they sort of edify him. Even McCoy says, I can't help but be enamored of the man. And then he shows up, and the way Montalban played him was absolutely staggering. I mean, it's like he was up for an Academy Award. That whole like, we offer the world order, and it's
Yeah.
and when you consider he'd only recently been injured and had a very severe back injury. That's why when he walks around and he kind of does that swagger where he's like got his hand on the back of his hip, it's because he's in almost unendurable pain. But as a consummate professional, he manages to give that amazing performance again while in pain. I mean, you got to give it to him. The scene where he's sort of like, having he's trying to get the young lady whose name eluding for the moment, but he's trying to get her under his wing. And she's like,
Lieutenant Lieutenant MacGyver's the historian, the woman he's after.
yes, MacGyver's. Thank you. And she's like, I'd like to stay for a little while. He goes, how many minutes will you allow me? And I'm like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's priceless. Kondani, he was just absolutely amazing. So yes, I think he's possibly the best guest star of the franchise.
Agreed.
I agree with you, Denny.
Yeah.
And the subdued con is good too, where he's like, "You left. Why were you afraid?"
Just notice how much levels above everybody else his acting is.
Precisely.
Mhm.
But they had the worst stunt doubles in that climactic fight scene in Space Seed. They did not look anything height wise, face wise, obvious wig, on con. But I like the subdued con. I love that scene where Kirk's taunting him. You left. Why were you afraid? He goes, I've never been afraid. I can't do it. But he just I love the way he says that line. He's drinking his little wine. He's like, I've never been afraid. I don't know. I like that. But those stunt doubles sucked.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that most of those stunt double fights were just god awful.
They didn't have to worry about that in the Wrath of Khan. So Shatner and Montalban were never on set together. It all happened in spaceship battles. So they didn't have to deal that they saw how bad it looked the first time they did it and said, well, we won't do that again.
Hey, Jerry
Right.
Dobson in chat.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying to run the chat's actually going really fast because they got 4 of them going. So I'm trying to get to everybody's the thing, and then the stupid thing doesn't want to respond. So I am very sorry, everybody who I've missed.
Johnny Orchard, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Christopher,
see
how
him.
you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good to see everyone that's there and here and everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, for some reason I can't go to the comments screen tonight. It's frozen, possibly from when my camera went down. But
Well,
if I missed any of you, have a good. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys.
yeah. Well, I put everybody up on the screen, so.
So,
My
Chance,
phone's working.
you're up. So, pick another Star Trek guest star.
Okay, I would have to say
Or two.
Emily Banks as Yeoman Barrows in Shore Leave. I thought she was lovely, lovely to look at. I like that she's McCoy's woman, and there's a nice little outtake that has surfaced from Gene Roddenberry's vault where she actually kisses Bones McCoy, and I love that little smooch. So I thought she was great. I just
DeForest Kelly was my favorite, so.
huh.
So DeForest Kelly was my
Oh yeah,
favorite.
yeah. He's from Toccoa, Georgia, originally in my state. But yes, he met him in March of 1987, and he couldn't have been nicer. He had bad arthritis though; he couldn't sign anything because of his arthritis. But yeah, nice guy. So
Should have
I would
stamped.
give, yeah. And then I've got so many. God, but you already. I agree. Marriott Hartley. I liked her character's personality. My girlfriend looks just like her. It's crazy. Or my girlfriend I want to give shout out to Leslie Parrish, who was in Apollo's Target in Who Mourns for Adonis. And there's a cut scene also in the Roddenberry vault revealing she is pregnant after the attack by that scumbag Apollo. At the end of the episode, you know the one I'm talking about? You guys know. Anyone in chat, so I'm talking to now because I know everyone on the panel knows what I'm talking about. But he has this tantrum where he causes a storm, and it's just like an analogy of a sexual attack, basically. And then it's revealed in a cutscene. The network censors wouldn't allow this on the air that she is pregnant. And it's in the book too, the James Blish novelization.
Well,
But
they missed a good sequel movie out of that one too, didn't they?
sure did. And then, but I must say, my sister never liked Star Trek. We're growing up, and I was watching Trek. The first time I discovered it was in 1986, late 86, when I saw Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. And then I went and got the episodes, which then were being released at 10 episodes at a time on home video. And I got every time they were released, I got all 10 of them. And they had that nice little next week preview in there. I was just hooked, and I love Trek. But I remember I was watching one, and my sister was like, God, she is pretty. And like walking in the room, because she could not stand Star Trek, right? But she was really cool in that she pointed out to me that there's a song that mentions Captain Kirk, and that is 99 Red Balloons. The song 99 Red Balloons. Everyone wants to be a superhero. Everyone wants to be a Captain Kirk. There's a line in there in the English version. And she pointed that. And there was T'Pau. Remember that band T'Pau? Based on a character.
Yeah.
But I digress. All right, but to answer your question, what's that?
Oh, Arlene Martell was T'Pau, and she's amazing. She's in
awesome.
Outer
Supreme.
Limits.
Supreme. No, T'Pau was the old woman.
I'm sorry,
Right, yeah,
Capri,
she's awesome
Capri.
though, but
yeah,
she was
I
okay.
meant
But I like
Capri.
the old woman a lot better. She was cool.
But she was in the Outer Limits. She was in the Demon with the Glass Hand by
yeah.
Harlan Ellison. She played Tiger, an underground operative in Hogan's Heroes. She was amazing. She was an amazing, and she was gorgeous. They used to try to downplay her looks to make her look exotic. In reality, the woman was absolutely gorgeous.
Yes. The Fugitive, she was in that too. I agree.
Yeah, she was. Oh my God, I forgot about that one.
In a color episode, The Blessings of Liberty. Yeah, she
Oh,
played
good.
like a Russian immigrant or something. Yeah, so those are my picks
I
this
love Perry
round.
Mason.
I said several, so I'll just move along, and I hope one of you don't pick my next choice. We'll see.
Okay.
That sounded like not to mean antagonistic. I just meant because it's fine if you do. I just wanted to have some originality. Okay.
I saw somebody mention Joan Collins, and we have to read Joan Collins into the record from City on the Edge of Forever. Of course, we could do a whole show on the behind the scenes. Harlan Ellison lamented that episode to the day he died, but I'm sure we've already read all the little fun facts about that into the record. But Joan Collins, one, she's gorgeous. Two, she really gave a really solid performance. I'm sure she did it because she needed the money. I mean, it was this schlock American sci-fi show, but she gave the performance as if she, again, was up for an Emmy, just like Maltabon. So the proper combination of attractiveness and professionalism, I think, makes her one of the best guest stars again in the entire franchise.
Well, there's
So,
no small
we're
roles.
pick
There's
that
only small
definitely.
people. So any role you should give your all to. That's my
Oh,
opinion.
And one more I want to add in just because I thought the chemistry between, pun intended, the chemistry between her and Captain Kirk were amazing. And I'm going to butcher her name, but I believe it's called Francais Nunien. And she was, of course, Elena and Elena of Treos. And when the women, if the tears get on you, you become their slaves.
Yes,
That
I had the hots for her. I had the hots for her.
I just love that episode. I mean, I was like, that's a good episode. Okay, yeah, she's very good in that episode. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I got to say one quick. I forgot to say the actress my sister was referring to was the one in By Any Other Name. Her name. It's a French name. She was. I wrote it down. Where is it? Barbara Boucher as Kalina in By Any Other Name. We had the cubes. You crush them, and the people die.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's I love that episode.
She had this beautiful eyes. She kind of looked like a young Madonna or something. And remember, my sister was just going in the room. She's like, she's really pretty. Saw that Barbara Boucher. So that was I didn't finish that story. So my sister thought that's Kalina. Yeah, she was pretty. And by the way, the yeoman in that episode who gets killed, Yeoman Thompson. I thought for years that was Edie McClure as a young woman, but it's not. There was Julie Cobb is the actress who plays the yeoman. And she's wearing a red dress, and she just was a horrible actress in that episode. But Edie McClure, she kind of sounded like Edie McClure, who is the secretary, of course, in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's her most known role, I suppose.
Oh yeah,
that's Edie McClure. That's what I'm referring to. I thought that was a young Edie McClure playing that yeoman. It wasn't. It was Julie Cobb. Sorry.
That would have been funny if it was, though. That would have been amazing.
No.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, the representative, the ambassador from the rival planet, and that is the actor who played Dr. Shrinker in the Saturday morning cartoon.
Jay Robinson. Jay Robinson. Yes.
Jay Robinson, who did all those biblical movies back in the 50s. But he's best known for playing Dr. Shrinker. Dr. Shrinker. He's a madman with an evil mind.
He's blue. He got stabbed in the back.
He got stabbed in the back.
Yep. Yes. Get that away from me.
I actually think I might have a Dr. Shrinker comic book back there somewhere from the Crop Super Show stuff.
Wow. Most likely you do.
Mm-hmm.
I would not doubt that.
My other favorite fun fact from the Saturday morning Croft Super Show is the fact that Bryan Cranston's wife was in Magic Mongo.
Yes. Yes. She was in BJ and the Bear, too, but that's another story. Yes.
She was in Magic.
Actually, I have a Crop Super Show comic book series that features Magic Mongo and Wonderbug and Bigfoot and Wild Boy and that stupid
Captain Cool and the Kongs. Yeah.
Well, which is funny because Michael Lembeck is Captain Cool and Captain Cool and the Kongs, and his sister is also in Magic Mongo. She's the other girl in Magic Mongo. She was the one she played one of the smart kids that were rivals of the Sweat Hogs in the first couple of seasons of Welcome Back, Kotter. I can't think of her first name. But we'll just call her Miss Lebeck. The one who she actually dated Vinny briefly for a while, but they just got rid of her character, I'm afraid. But she's the other girl in Magic Mongo. And of course, Magic Mongo is played by possibly the greatest voice artist of all time, next to Frank Welker, Lenny Weinrib, who is just the voice of the 70s.
Here's something ironic for y'all real quick.
Oh, cool.
For me to bring this up real fast. That we talk about all these favorite guest stars on Star Trek, the original series. It's funny, when I watch Star Trek, The Next Generation, all my favorite guest stars on that show were the stars of the original series.
That's kind of what I said earlier today on Geeks is like that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's like Nimoy and McCoy.
DeForest Kelly.
These are my favorite episodes of Star Trek Next Generation.
It's like there's an episode of Next Generation that features 3 Klingons, and each of the 3 Klingons, it's Michael Nzera, John Colicos, and Campbell, Mr. Campbell, whose first name, who was also the Squire of Gothos, but he was also a Klingon, and it's the 3 most famous Klingons from TOS are doing these this trio of Klingons in Next Generation, and everyone's like, oh my god, and that's
well, yeah, and they're also in Deep Space Nine as well. Some of them were there too, and it's pretty amazing. Like I said, it's amazing how they just look like regular Klingons now, not the human versions. But we don't talk about that.
The
K-Bar,
blackface.
stop it.
Yeah. but they copied Battlestar Galactica. There were these characters called the Nomen in Battlestar Galactica in 1978, and they look like the Klingons in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I think that they copied Battlestar, the Star Trek: The Motion Picture production people. Sorry.
I can see
Probably.
You know what I'm talking about, Thrash? The Nomen in Battlestar Galactica?
that. Yes.
Later on in its sole good season. Yeah, I'm not going to acknowledge Galactica 1980. Except
We
for,
were just talking about that too. Although every
Starbucks.
chance, I was going to say you're going to guess the one episode of 80 that I liked, and yes, it's the one
Return
with
to
the death of
Starbuck.
Starbuck.
Yeah, and
Which-
it was great. Except, and he got that woman pregnant through osmosis. Apparently, it was kind of like the midichlorians or something
no.
with Anakin Skywalker.
She was
Oh,
she was already pregnant, and that's why it was so selfless. It wasn't even his kid. He found a pregnant woman and wasted his resources saving her.
Oh, because they say in the episode Starbuck's my father, that Dr. Z, unless he meant like raise me or something.
Exactly.
You know.
It's more a father by proxy.
Metaphorical.
I see.
Yeah, because there's that one scene where because the Cylon goes out and he comes back with the girl and sorry if you don't like her, there wasn't much of a selection, and he goes, this one's going to have a baby. And Gary Owens does that great line, I am rapidly being surrounded.
By humans. Yeah, and that's Gary. Good point. You read my
Gary
mind
Owens.
again. I was going to say that's Gary Owens who voiced that from Laugh-In, the voice of Laugh-In. Oh my God. I have that on film, by the way, Thrash, reel to reel. That episode. I've had that for years. I'm hanging on to that. It's really
hang on
special on film, to watch that, like bigger than life. Anyway.
2 against 3 are better odds. I always love that line. Like,
It was sad when he died too. The Cylon. It was sad. It was like Enemy Mine or something, or like that episode of UFO. Are you familiar, Thrash, with Jerry Anderson's UFO or UFO?
That was the one
1999. No.
Yeah, that was the one where the aliens all have that sort of grease paint on. It's like that,
Yes.
that glow paint on. Yes, I do.
Very
remember
good. There was like an episode
Yeah.
like that where
Yeah.
the villain befriends a human, and then the alien dies, and it's sad. And anyway,
I didn't see that particular episode, but I used to watch that show with my
Survival.
father when I visited him in New York when I was like 6.
yeah. Survival is the episode title. Enough said on that. Talking Star Trek, not UFO.
It's all a shameless ripoff of Hell in the Pacific with Lee Marvin and Toshiro Mifune.
People don't think you can care about a machine, and you find it hard to have feelings for like a Cylon when it gets blown up or something. But if you don't believe you can have feelings for machines, think how you feel every time you break a phone, like you done lost your best friend.
I have such feelings for my phone. I taped it together. Love you. My fib.
like
It's really
J5.
hot though right now. It's just really hot.
Short
It's
circuit.
80 degrees here, guys. I'm dying. It's very hot.
I dropped my
really?
phone. It looks like something that crashed at Roswell.
I mean, mine does too, except for it's taped together, so it's a little bit more recognizable. But I
I'm glad
only
I
had
get a
3
bunch of
spiders
phones.
fall out of it. What?
I said, I'm glad I got a bunch of phones.
I used to. They all died. It's crazy. I used to have a magnet like that.
Very nice.
That's
Yeah.
an original video store poster for the releases of Star Trek on video cassette. Look,
Nice.
Star Trek, I've said this on my show many times. It started the streaming, and it was the first show you could actually buy. And it was $14.95 suggested retail price, not including tax, for just one episode on VHS.
And that was
The first time that was ever done.
84.
Star Trek is a pioneering show.
Yeah,
Yes.
I bought Arena. My 2 favorite episodes.
We would
Arena
never
and
have
Devil in the
seasons
Dark.
on DVD if not for Star Trek, TV shows.
But yeah, I want to say that was 1984 they first came out. Because Paramount was kind of ahead of the game on sell-through. In fact, a lot of people say the home sell-through videotape market.
I can't hear
wouldn't
y'all.
have
Got to
happened.
duck out and be right back. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
no problem.
Oh, no.
Here we go again. I thought he looked blank for us. Like what is Thrash saying?
You can't even leave.
None of us can. We're trapped here for eternity.
I kept you all in my StreamYard.
What is happening?
And
Chance
Danny's
has no
lost again.
sound.
It in the tradition of Star Trek, Chance. Cleaned out. That's my third one.
Oh yeah,
The
Gary,
official
we were actually
female.
talking about the green girl, Yvonne Craig, and Susan Oliver was also a green girl.
Now I
So
can't ask him
easy
the name of that
being
guy.
green.
Oh, there he is.
Mhm.
Oh,
Can you
I
hear
was
me
I
now?
was saying Paramount was kind of ahead of the game on the home sell through market. In fact, you guys have probably all heard the story of, because when videotape first came out, they were like $80 a unit. People just wouldn't pay that. Pepsi approached Paramount. They wanted to bring Top Gun out and put it at a sell through that everybody could afford. Pepsi offered Paramount so much money if they would just put a Pepsi commercial in the front right before, which is where that whole thing, now your feature presentation, where they started putting advertisements and commercials in front of the videotapes. And Pepsi paid so much for that advertisement in front of Top Gun, they were able to sell it for, I want to say $29.99, which was manageable. And that literally started the home sell through market. I remember that Christmas, there was like Trading Places and a whole bunch of Paramount films, and they were actually marketed as give the gift of a movie. $29.95.
When we
There
first
you go.
started
The Cage in black and white and in color with
That
some
was a great.
Wow,
I
that's
got that
really
video.
cool.
I had that video at one point too. Yeah, that was
They
awesome.
charged more. They
no.
charged double for it though. They charged double. It was $14.95 for a regular. They
Well,
charged
the ones my dad picked up came with little cards in them too, little like collecting cards in them, and that was cool. I used to have all that stuff, but I don't have it now because life. Blah.
Thrash is absolutely right, and Coke copied that with Batman. Remember when Batman '89 was released on home video? You had our Alfred have a little Diet Coke spot,
Yeah.
and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade had a Coca-Cola spot, I believe. Just you're absolutely right. Pepsi, huh? I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's cool.
And that
Top
again,
Gun.
that would have been 1984. Again, because people rented videotapes, but you didn't want to
That's
buy
what I
them because they
did.
were
It was '85, I think. Thrash,
Yeah,
but
when
close
I first
enough.
got a
Close
VCR,
enough.
it was like 1978, and it was 79 when all the little stores popped up where you could rent VHS movies.
when they
And
first started.
the
Yeah,
first thing I remember was going to the VHS store after we got the VCR and paying $2.99. That was a lot in 1979 to rent a movie for the weekend.
Yeah, you could rent a VCR too, and it was expensive, like
We
$100.
had
a
VCR, so
weekend.
we didn't have to rent one.
We had our own VCR. My dad was very smart, and then I and he were the only ones that used it. So at like 5, I could use a VCR. But you want me to go Google something? I cannot spell. Can't do it.
My
So
dad,
I can VCR.
my stepdad bought a VCR at work. That's how we got one.
Nice.
Yes, she was. She was,
We won
Gary.
one in a raffle.
Larry Merriweather was in a terrible episode, in my opinion. That Witch Survives. But there's a selfie. You seen that picture, Thrash? It's been on social media of her and when her makeup, like doing a selfie with like a Polaroid camera in her costume.
I don't recall
Have you seen
that.
that?
I
I'll
don't.
post it
She always
on
had her
the
hand out. I
There's a
am
great-
for you, Captain Kirk.
Yes, that's it. I'm for you. I love her, man, from the Time Tunnel and Barnaby Jones and, Batman. She was
And
Catwoman in the
Catwoman.
movie, Batman the movie.
But
But,
it's a horrible episode of Star Trek. It's one of their worst.
So
Well, no, Spock's
Not
brain
as
is
bad
still gonna
as-
be one of the worst.
go ahead, Thrash.
Not as bad. Patterns of Force. Patterns of Force, Spock's brain. Those are the worst episodes.
Why didn't you like
Right.
Patterns of Force? Did you think it was just hokey? I mean, I thought it was a cautionary tale, but
I thought the premise was outstanding, but the execution was just very, very poor. The acting is very. There's the scene where they reveal that Melicon has been the man behind the curtain the whole time, and the Nazi officers just gonna look over him like there's no direction. Like you'd think they'd be incensed. You'd think they'd want to tear him apart, but they just kind of look over at him like, "You bastard." Also, the guy from the underground, the what is it? The Ecosian.
yes.
The one who they deliberately went out and found somebody who looked like Harlan Ellison because they were like making fun of Harlan Ellison.
Really?
Yes.
That's true. I didn't know that. It does look like Harlan Ellison. Oh my god.
Yes. But when
That's interesting. You didn't like that one. I think that's interesting. Okay.
he finds out that his girlfriend has been killed, and he's like hysterical. And then a second later, he's kind of going along with this whole plan thing. It's like you'd think he'd still be a basket case. It's just very inconsistent. There's also a scene. It's supposed to be 1940s technology. There's a scene where they're standing outside a building, and they all have modern day air conditioners in the windows.
Okay, the worst episode for me of Star Trek was the one where that lady scientist stole Kirk's body and put herself in Kirk's body.
And she
Yeah,
keeps
Dr. Janet
screaming.
Lester. That's the final
doing the
episode.
worst job acting, pretending to be a woman that ever existed.
Shatner's acting is horrible in that.
And he spends the whole episode screaming like a
Yeah.
screaming baby.
Oh, I hated that
That's
episode
the worst.
so much.
What are you talking about? That's just high quality acting. What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
No,
Hey, Thrash, that Patterns of Force, the woman in that who played
Uh-huh.
the undercover sympathizer for the good guys, she looked
Yeah.
like Liv Montgomery. I forget, and I should have put her as an honorable mention. She was
I
beautiful.
could see that. I could
She
see
kind
that.
of looked like Liv Montgomery.
The one who turns her father in. Like I say, I thought the premise was outstanding. I really did. But I thought in execution, it's almost like I think it suffered in rewrites. They probably took a great script, and by the time it was made, it was like all over the place.
And how about when they're cutting the crystal out of, like, was it Spock who had the transponder, and there's no blood or there's no
Yeah.
wound, there's no nothing. Oh no, it's in Kirk, isn't it? They take it out of Kirk's hand.
Out of both of
It
them,
doesn't matter. One of them. Yeah.
One thing they do get right is the lashes on Spock's back are green. The lashes
Green.
on Kirk's back are red. They got that right at least.
Oh, come on, they stole Spock's brain and didn't even leave him on.
That's
Right.
true.
Hi,
Brain
music and
surgery.
fun. I have to say,
Brain
what's
and brain. What is brain?
funny about the Spock's brain, right? Like, I didn't know about that episode until I watched that episode of the Wonder Years where they made fun of it, and then I had to watch that episode. So then when I watched it, I was like, it was pretty interesting. The hair dryer on, and Spone's like, of course, a child could do it mid surgery. I don't know what I'm doing, but apparently it all worked out because Spock somehow knows. That's amazing. Anyway,
Yeah.
So
good times. Spock's
y'all
brain.
at least give a shout out and guest stars to Ron Howard's little mutant brother who made that special appearance.
Who's in Atlanta today at Days of the Dead convention? Clint Howard, yeah. He's in
Clint
Atlanta.
Howard.
Dude, I like him in Deep Space Nine. He goes, whoosh, I'm invisible. I love that. And during the Bell riots, yeah. the
Evil
second
Speak.
part.
Remember that one, Thrash and Dan? That was a crazy horror movie he did when he needed a paycheck.
Yeah.
Evil
Ice
Speak.
Cream Man.
Yeah, he did some really horrible movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course,
well-
with Gentle Ben, or
Mosquitoes.
within Gentle Ben.
Well, if I was getting
I
paid
actually
to
like
do
a lot
horror
of
movies,
Clint
I'd do
Howard
them, too.
movies. I shouldn't say nothing.
Barbara Rush. Oh, she's talking about Batman.
Ah.
She's in Batman. That's the one where they're all tied together and not.
In Mirror Mirror, there's a Barbara Luna plays
Yes.
Lieutenant Moran, I think her name is.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's actually Barbara. It's I don't when I was researching her, it's actually two different names. Not Barbara. She
Really?
went by Barbara because it got confusing, but her name was actually Barbara. If you look under IMDb. And so I don't know what the story behind that was. I thought she was great. I wish we'd seen her in more. But
Yes.
that's just a little fun fact I uncovered. And I love the fact that how easily she fits in both. Like in the evil timeline, she automatically becomes Kirk's plaything, but in reality, she's just a new officer, and it just worked out really nicely,
I met her in 2007 Burbank, California. She couldn't have been nicer. And of course, she was in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century as Hawk's Woman in the season 2 premiere.
You told me
Wow,
that. You
really?
told me
Yeah.
that. I had forgotten until just now. Wow, that's a real fun.
With
fact.
that weird, it's Sarah, like your bird. She's a bird woman.
I met
Right.
the guy that played Hawk, William Christopher, before.
He just died, sadly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got autographed pictures that he fixed up for me.
And Thrash, The Invaders, you should see Barbara Luna in that. It was the season before Mirror Mirror was filmed, but she played an alien, and she fakes that our hero, David Vincent, who's trying to expose the aliens, sexually assaulted her. And she rips her clothing, and she's just a despicable alien in that episode. It's called
Despicable
Storm.
Alien.
She was opposite. She was opposite an actor I really like who played the dad in One Day at a Time, Joseph Campanella. He was in season 1 of Mannix, and then they wrote him out, and Peggy took over.
He was in Willard.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. He was in Ben, the sequel to Willard. He plays a police investigator who's trying to uncover the underground rats. He was in a bunch of. He actually, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe didn't he actually have his own show where it was a you already know where I'm going with this. It was a rebooting of This Is Your Life in like the late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
Okay, good. I didn't imagine that. For a while, I thought that was a fever dream.
And he's got a brother that looks nothing like him. He's been in a lot of shows. Just like I'll shut up. Sorry, Dan, you're trying to get a word in edgewise. Like it's like James Arness to me looks nothing like Peter Graves, and they're brothers in real life. And that's the same with Joseph Campanella and his brother. All right, I'll shut up. That has nothing to do with Star Trek.
I don't look like my brothers neither.
I only have. Well, I have one actual blood brother, but then I have like 3 on panel here. The chance is definitely my brother, definitely.
Oh,
You guys
Right
look more
on.
like my brother than my brother does. My brother looks nothing like me. My brother's like very tall and good looking. No
Oh,
offense,
so
you guys.
Oh, well, that's okay. I'm a very short and awkward looking, I know, but that's okay.
Uh,
neither one of us are going to win any beauty prizes. That's for sure.
You
Oh, I
can't tell
will,
how
but
tall
that's
I am
okay.
because I'm sitting down.
Gary must be behind. He's still talking about Jay Robinson as Dr. Shrinker. He must be a little
I
behind.
like
No,
Dr.
you-
Shrinker. I can talk about Dr. Shrinker more than I can
Get-
Star Trek sometimes.
Gary has trouble with his phone. Sometimes it keeps repeating messages he puts out. He probably put that message up 40 minutes ago, and his
And
phone
it's
keeps
also again.
broadcasting it over again.
Yeah, Gary's got this possessed phone, and I don't know what to do with it other than just go, it's possessed. Because,
This phone possessed.
yeah, I mean, if you think that, like, you know, when we type on StreamYard and we can get into everybody's chat at the same time, right? But he'll sit there and drop it in the same chat 3 different times, and I'm like, wow, it's possessed. And I'm trying not to put it up 3 different times. But it's all in one chat. It's awesome. Gary, we like you. You're epic.
Sarah, who's your next pick of a Star Trek classic actress that you liked?
Well, we've all pretty much gone over everyone because I was like, and I like that one. Oh, and that one too, and this, that, and the other.
So many more.
Yeah,
so many
I
more.
know. So we'll have to do a part 2, I think.
You don't have one. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. It's your turn, I think, isn't it?
Well, it kind of is, but we've already talked about like everyone I was going to bring up at this point. Now I'm scrambling to
I'm
remember
pretty close
anybody.
to that, too.
Think hard. Let Dan go, and then think hard because
Okay.
there's got to be one that you'll think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to that point too on the original series because, like I said, I don't know the names of so many people on that show. I just know the characters they played,
Well, that works. Name a character you think was cool.
and like it had to play the guy who played Mr. Spock's dad.
Oh, Mark Leonard.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
he
think
played
of
on a
somebody.
lot of other parts on Star Trek shows.
He was also Urkro in Planet of the Apes, and he played the head of a military academy in Otherworld, the very
I
short-lived.
think he played a Romulan too.
Yes,
He
play
did.
Romulan.
He played everything. He played a Klingon in the motion picture. He was the commander in the very beginning. Gets blown up by V'ger, but he was a Klingon. He was a Vulcan, and he was a Romulan. You're correct.
Very-
And he's just a
Wow.
great actor all around. And
He
I
looks
really
nothing
like
like himself.
that
He's the one in Star Trek motion picture. Of course, with all that makeup, you can't tell it's him. It's him. It's him.
But I'll be glad if when we do a part 2, we need to go into the Next Generation and Enterprise and some other guest stars because I
Space
was
Nine,
always
Voyager, all of
the
them.
old lady that played D Roxana Troy, the writer guy's wife.
I never liked her.
I don't
Marie,
know.
I never liked her.
I thought it was.
I never.
great.
She never did
Why?
anything for me.
She cries too much. It's like every episode, I can't, my powers are gone. I cry. I'm like,
I like her
"Ugh."
voice. She's too nasally.
She
I just don't like her.
cries. She just cries
Yeah.
too much.
One thing I loved
very
about
funny.
the episode with Mark Leonard is
Mm.
at the end, because of course he has to have the operation, and of course they're
Mhm.
having a firefight at the time, so it's this really intense episode. In the end, it's just sort of like they were one big happy family, and both Spock and Sarek, I'm sorry, are recovering, and the mother comes in and they say something disparaging to her, and Spock's like, "Indeed, why did you marry her?" And he gets this coy face for a Vulcan least. He goes, "At the time, it seemed the logical thing to do."
Yep.
And of course, you can't say in 1968, "I got your mother pregnant," but it's like we
Right.
all knew what he was writing.
And how about where they show affection? Remember Thrash and Dan
Yeah.
and the
Mm.
fingers?
Yeah.
Yes, the touch, joining of the fingers. I
And
like
we all just instantly do that.
So you don't like Roxana Troy, but it's kind of hard not to like somebody who made Picard's so uncomfortable.
Face the ace.
Well, yeah, I loved it when Picard has Spock's dad's Katra in his head or whatever the heck. Anyways, he's just crying. It's amazing. That's a good
Hey,
episode,
guys.
though.
There's a major one that neither one of us have said, and I think it's because she's extremely sexy, but her character's knocked up in the episode. Who am I talking about? Go ahead, Thrash.
Oh, I can't think of her name. I have it written down somewhere. I don't want to dig it up, but it's the one. It's the
Well, who did she play? Who did she play? What's her? I mean, not in Star Trek, but what's her most known role in your opinion in all of television history?
Drawn blank. Well, in the episode, she plays the young wife of the tribal leader, and the baby is yours. No. Say the baby is mine.
Friday's
Newmar, Catwoman.
Julie Newmar.
And she signed that for me. Chance.
Yeah.
Fondly. And she's still alive in her 90s. She had a kid like in her 50s or something. Believe it or not.
Holy crap.
He has Down syndrome. God bless him. But yeah, anyway. But there she is. I need to get Shatner to sign this one day.
Yeah. He's already been to space, so you're lucky he's still alive.
She did a lot of television at the time. She was in The Monkees.
Yep.
And she was she did a lot of like TV shows but yes, I just
doll. She played
After
an android,
all,
sexy robot.
Dr. McCoy is a doctor, not an escalator.
That's right. That's right. And McCoy slapped her across the face after she slapped him.
Yeah, and that was awesome too. You'll love this show. Yes, you can love the child. No, yours. Leonard James.
Say it over again. The baby is mine. Okay, doctor, the baby is yours. No.
Yeah. Leonard James Akar. This is the name of the baby. So great.
Can I mention one that was cross-eyed? This poor lady, she's nothing again. This actress was totally cross-eyed. She was the ensign who testified in the court-martial episode of season 1. She's like an Asian woman, and she's like, louder for the court. Captain James T. Kirk. She's totally cross-eyed. God bless her. But I didn't like Sarah Marshall. She didn't do much for me. The prosecutor who was prosecuting Captain Kirk in court-martial. Either in Twilight, I don't know. I just don't like women with short hair. I guess I don't know. I just didn't. She didn't do anything for me. But I probably wouldn't do anything for her either. So it's even.
She's kind of snooty. One who was amazing, and she had such a tragic life, was Angelique Pettyjohn from the Game Masters of Transkelion.
Double D's. Yep.
Yeah. And I thought she was absolutely amazing in that. And again, she was really three-dimensional because remember, she wants to kill Kirk because she thinks he's betrayed her, and he's like, no, there is a universe out there. You could have it. We're going to free you. But of course, Kirk does what he always does. Typical post-colonialist. He frees them, but then we never see what happens after they're free. It's like, well, you're free. Now you're on your own. No, I don't want to be on my own. This is where you like figure things out for me. But again, I
kind of like Han's beef, right? Admiral Kirk never checked on our progress.
Yeah. Look, we got James T. Kirk in chat right now.
Commodore Kirk. Thank you for sure.
Whatever. I can't spell. I mean,
Bernie Capel was on Get Smart. Yes, he was. That'd be very good. Yes, he's nearly 100. Yeah.
Hey, Thrash, what about Mariana Hill though from Dagger of the Mind, one that you mentioned earlier when you were trying to think of Whom Gods Destroy? She was sexy.
She was very, very, very hot.
As Noelle from the Christmas Party. Yeah.
But Angelique Pettyjohn, she for some reason her career flatlined, and she ended up dying very, very young. The last thing that any of us have probably hey ladies. She was one of the Repo wives in Repo Man, and it was sad because it's basically a walk-on in a bar seat. But I thought she was absolutely amazing as the gamester in the Game Masters of Transkelion.
I found her acting. That's funny. We disagree, but no disrespect, of course. But you're right. I don't know. I just thought some of her line delivery was a little off, but whatever.
It's a free country. It's a free country. You know what?
Like rear ends. Everybody's got one. Yeah.
Sometimes maybe just hit a chord with me. Maybe like if I saw it again with fresh eyes. Have you guys ever done that?
Yes.
You like see something when you're a kid, or you read a book when you're a kid, you think it's absolutely amazing, and then you read it when you're older, and you're like, this wasn't very good.
Yeah, that happens
all the time.
Yeah.
So perhaps I'm reading a little bit too much into it.
I think I need to watch it again because you probably saw something I missed about her performance.
Well, and of course, what's the guy's name? Joe Ruskin,
Yes.
who was in everything. A good friend of mine actually worked with him when he did Saturday the 14th. But he played the evil genie in that episode of Twilight Zone,
Yes.
where he turns the guy into Hitler. And any number of other things. He had that resonant voice that just sort of like went right through you. And it's funny when he comes out in the Game Master Triskelion, you don't see his feet move. And he said that right before he took that part, he went to it was like Cirque du Soleil type situation. And one of the characters walked in such a fashion that you didn't actually see him take steps. So it looked like he glid. And Joe Ruskin
Glid or glided?
Glided it. And he thought that the game master that would be the perfect thing for him. So at great length, he forced himself to learn how to do that just for that one part.
Wow. He was like Robert Davi. He had kind of skin problems, he had kind of like crater acne, if you will. But he was a great actor, I'm not knocking him. I'm just describing him for those that don't know who Thrash is talking about.
That's why he grew the facial hair and used to wear like very heavy makeup, and they usually had him play like a tough guy, like one of Dutch Schultz's gangsters in like the Untouchables. The Untouchable. He would play a gangster in that or something. He always played like a scary dude,
Francine Yen was a great choice, Thrash. I had a crush on her too.
She was amazing, very exotic looking.
Absolutely.
In fact, wasn't she? Speaking of green girls, wasn't she the girl from the Green Dimension in Lost in Space? That just
no, that's Bettina Marcus. Close,
okay,
but
thank you.
Bettina Marcus. That was one of Irwin Allen's mistresses.
Ooh, like really, mistress? Like
absolutely, actually? Yep. And he used her in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and a lot of different things. The Lost World. Yeah, that was Bettina Marcus. He brought her back in another Lost in Space episode that same season. The girl from the Green Dimension and Wild Adventure.
I did confuse the two, so thank you for clearing that up, Chance.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good in the hood.
It's all good. I'm just making sure I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, I've mentioned all my main picks. Good.
Me too.
I
had 12, and I got all of them.
Wow.
Guys, I got one for you. What about the women? I already mentioned Leslie Parrish. There was another woman for our chief engineer, Scotty, who got possessed. Sabrina Sharaf, I think her name. Mm-hmm. She didn't do much for me, but she was definitely an attractive woman. I just thought, I don't know. Something about her. Did you think did she do anything for you guys?
Well, she did something for Scotty because, they dated in real life.
I did not know that. See, that's great. That's a great fact.
I met James Doohan years ago at a convention. In fact, if you look really closely in posts that I do in the bridge, there's a depiction of the Enterprise, and he actually signed it for me.
That's cool. So
yeah, but
what's cool.
But yes,
we've all met somebody from Star Trek. I think that's really cool because I like I said, the Martok, I met him. Jeffrey Combs, I met him, right? And then I was at the Star Trek convention, so I met a bunch of them that day. I think it's pretty cool that we all, have met someone from Star Trek in real life. I think that's awesome.
And a lot of them are still alive. Like Nancy Kovac, knock on wood, is still alive. What a handsome woman. She's just, a lot of it was makeup, but she was beautiful. She was in the Bewitched pilot too. She was Darren's fiance, and she did a lot of interesting roles on like The Fugitive, Invaders. But yeah, she was just smoking hot, wig and all, in that Private Little War. Anyway,
yeah,
talked about earlier. And her little simulated sex scene where she's quote unquote curing Captain Kirk of the Magatu bite.
I need to be cured too, so I gotta get down on that tonight. Yeah, I gotta get cured, I swear. What's it called, right? Getting cured. Got it. Thanks, Dan. Okay. Anybody else got anything more to add? Or are we going to pick this up next time?
I think we've covered all the proverbial bases.
Yeah, really. Jill Ireland was a good mention in chat. That's Charles Bronson's woman. She sadly died of cancer, ovarian cancer, I believe. But yeah, she was great. The Spock's woman in This Side of Paradise. Oh, and what about Sabrina Sharaf? That was the woman in the Indian woman, the American Indian Oh,
Oh,
she was
yeah.
gorgeous.
Kurok.
Yes,
oh, yeah,
I am
Kirok.
Oh,
I hate
man,
that
she was
episode so
gorgeous.
much.
Miramani. Miramani.
I
Yeah,
can't
I-
believe we didn't mention her. I can't believe
Oh,
that was
I
that
one
hate
of
one of
that.
my
I
picks,
really
too.
hate that episode. It's one of those episodes that, when you wanted to watch Star Trek, it was the one that didn't play it over and over again. I'm like, there's so many more to watch. I know this one. Got it. Don't care. Some more of them. But that was like when I was a little kid. But still, the
that's-
point being,
Beautiful.
And that's the other reference to Kirk losing his son. Kirk lost 2 sons over the course of the franchise. That's the first one. He later loses
David.
David. Thank you. He loses David.
yeah.
Years later.
Yeah, they
Klingon,
could make
yeah.
a special series called The Children of Kirk. We could go through all the women that he's banged through the series, and they all got kids. There could be a little green one running around.
A bug, that little fly. He probably got that girl knocked up from the wink of an
A little
eye.
Indian
Yeah, we
one
could
that
buy-
made it.
yeah, right? Well, no, because they're all sterile. No,
Yeah.
she couldn't. They're all sterile. That's why they keep kidnapping people.
Oh, that's right.
They're all
Good,
sterile.
good correction. You're right. They can't. You're right. They're sterile.
Mhm.
Be a
I
little
remember the
Roman.
episode, so you don't have to.
But hey, what about the empath? Like it or not, Thrash? The empath. I thought.
Yeah,
Mm,
Kirk.
No,
Yeah.
I tried to like that one. I mean, and again, solid premise, but I just, and the fact that she was mute, but they didn't really do anything with it,
See,
and
That
you kind of know where
episode.
they're going the whole time.
That episode, as a kid, made me cry a lot because first off, I was a big DeForest Kelly fan, still am, right? So him being like tortured in me as a kid, I'm like crying my little eyes out. Oh man, that episode was just one of those like it made me cry. Like that's the only one.
I have to admit, after being married 3 times, I find a mute woman quite attractive.
And shout out for the worst acting, I think, of any female guest star was the actress who played Kirk's sister-in-law in Operation Annihilate, who got things, horrible things.
Yes.
Don't let it go any further. That acting was just deplorable.
What are you talking about? That was amazing. That was pain, such pain.
And then the last couple of she just shrieks it's like, and of course they couldn't even find an actor that looked vaguely similar to Kirk. No, you have William Shatner laid down with a cheesy fake mustache. I'm like, dude,
It's like a porn stat.
it is.
But
So, yeah,
Thrash and Dan and Sarah, I need your consensus on this. This always
Yeah.
bothered me. In the Deadly Years, where they're having the rapid aging, is
Yes.
that Kirk without his hairpiece? His hair looks completely different, and his acting was really good in that. I thought he.
Yeah.
So I've been relieved. He's like,
Yeah.
Spock, you stab me in the back the first chance you get. Like he changed his voice entirely. I thought, to sound older. He did a good job, but was that
Well-
his hair? I wonder. I've always wondered that. Like his
I
hair.
don't know, but good
I think
question.
they did.
He
Well,
was bald at that point
just
because
like-
Harlan Ellison used to make fun of him for being bald.
Kids in that episode.
What?
The more guest stars you could mention would be the kids in that episode, because I think some of them might have actually been his kids.
There were in Mary. It was his daughter.
Yeah,
Oh,
his daughter
And
were in there.
Grace Lee
Yeah.
Whitney's son was in it too. Yeoman Rand's
Mhm.
son, real yeah.
Yeah.
And
Norman.
the guy the guy from Mission Impossible, whose name eludes me, his son is in it too.
Oh, really? Peter Lupus or you mean Martin Landau?
No, the black dude from Mission
Oh,
Impossible.
yeah. Oh, that's Garrett Morris. Not Garrett Morris. That's Saturday Night Live. Morris. Greg Morris.
Greg Morris. Yes, his son is one of the kids in there too. By the way.
Yeah, he is. He talked about it on an interview with my friend Geek to Me Radio, James Install. I met through BK of BK on the Air. Yeah, he's acting. His son is acting actively. He was in the Mission Impossible reboot in the late 80s, early 90s. The guy you're referring to was in Mary.
Yeah,
Greg
I did not
Morris'
know that.
son.
He's
Yeah.
got to be in his 60s now because I'm 57.
I really
Gotta be
did
10
not
years older.
stand that Mission Impossible reboot, by the way.
Which reboot? You didn't like that one? It was
I
shot
did
in
not.
Australia. I like it. Peter Graves was in it. I don't know. I like Jake Badler. in anything.
Made him flip, and it was just horrible.
The version of the theme was really good, though. I thought that was a great reorchestration of the Mission Impossible theme by Lalo Schifrin for the 1988.
Space orphans did they find? I don't know. All of them?
At least two. At least two.
God, I'm trying to think.
Space orphans. Well, yeah. I
Couldn't
think,
we not talk about.
Yeah,
Susan Howard was a good Klingon female actor. from
Oh,
Dallas.
yeah.
She went on to play Ray Krebs's woman in Dallas, but she looked nothing like herself because of the makeup. Remember, she was Kang's woman, Michael Ansara's character's woman, who do Chekhov.
We need to
Chekhov
come
attack.
back in 2 or 3 months and do a part 2 to this.
Sounds
We've
good
only
to me.
got 90 minutes. Oh well.
Super.
Yeah.
Well,
Plenty of
this
time to
was
research it up, you know.
this was a blast. I had
This
Next
is
time
awesome.
we'll take on a different topic, preferably something to do with horror and movies.
Well, then they'll come back to Star Trek, of course. So yeah, sounds great.
Thought of the topic tonight. Which one of you thought of this? It was a good topic.
I got the call about it, so it wasn't me.
Yeah,
Chance,
Chance, remember years ago we came up with not years, but like months ago, I came up with an idea of I wanted to do a Star Trek beauty pageant. And we never moved forward with it, but it was just the idea we would show clips of all the different females, and you would pick the Miss Star Trek universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what gave me the idea for this show.
That's great, man. Zopperplex says no mention of Kim Darby. Yeah, she's a great actress. Listen, I'm going to say it. I'll be the back. I think she's homely. I'm sorry. I always have.
Well, there you go. You heard from Chance, guys.
Elephant in the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Not on my list. I love her. Love her acting.
Bring you to a place
Sorry.
again.
She was a
I'm
great
not
actress,
sure.
but yeah, not
I'm nothing to write home about myself. So, but I'm just saying, she didn't do anything for me. Yeah, she was in True Grit. She's a great actor. I love her acting. Fugitive as well. I've been mentioning Fugitive a lot tonight, but yeah.
But
Wrong. Well, I'm sorry. I don't find her attractive. That's fine. You do. That's fine. You know, you're born that way. That's fine.
It's a free country.
Free country.
Everybody don't find green women attractive, but some of us do.
I think your women are hot. What are you talking about? But blue is my favorite color, so blue women are even better. But usually means they're dead, so never mind. Never mind.
Sarah, you need to do this about the hot guys.
I don't know what it is. I find green women.
Right?
really-
Yeah, but then Dad and Pons won't be here. I don't know. What to tell
Do
you.
it snarky. Do have a female panel. Talk about the no Trek. Talk about the hot. Well, she'll want to talk about the monkeys. Snarky likes the monkeys.
Yeah, some will be trying to.
She'll probably like Chekhov because he was a monkey. He was the Star Trek equivalent of.
Yeah,
one
they
of the
even would call him one of them. So he was always
I
like,
can-
"I'm not."
I can hypothetically speak of which men were good looking on Star Trek. I mean, it's a free country. I mean,
Ricardo Montalban. Yeah.
Yeah,
Number
we all
one.
can agree that he
Oh,
is hot
number one.
AF.
You know,
Mhm.
Mark Leonard would probably be in the top 10.
Yep.
You know?
Well, like I was saying, DeForest Kelly is extremely good looking. He's got a voice to match his good looks, and he's a good actor. He hits on all three levels. DeForest Kelly, everyone. If I have not mentioned him today, I've mentioned him twice.
Sarah, have you seen the westerns he did? He did a lot of westerns.
Yes, I did. It was one of my. I watched a lot of westerns with my dad back in the day. So in order for him to tell me that people did other things other than just Star Trek, right? He would show me other westerns with him in it. And I'll be like, "This is awesome!" And I watched them all too. And then I just love DeForest Kelly like I always have. He's a great actor. He's my favorite one in Star Trek. And that's original.
Can you
series.
watch DVDs, Sarah? If I mailed you a DVD of Fugitive season, he's in his
Yes.
season 3 Fugitive the year before Star Trek debuted on NBC,
Yeah.
playing a drunk. It's an awesome performance. It's a smaller role, like a co-starring role, but he's in it a lot, and he's really good playing an
Awesome, that'd be
alcoholic.
swell. Yeah, I live in the future where I still play DVDs and Blu-rays.
All right,
Yeah.
physical media, like Thrash always says, is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and a
Right.
shout out. I got to plug something. There's a show that I appear in the 4th episode. It debuts tonight at NBC and Peacock. It's called Grosse Point Garden Society. It's a dark comedy about murder. So it debuts tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. I think at 10 p.m. on the West Coast as well on NBC and on Peacock.
And you're in it? You
It's
just-
the 4th episode. Yeah, you'll see me real good in the 4th episode, but not in the pilot. I hope the show does well. They've only done 13 episodes to start. That's what we're ordered by NBC. And if it does well, there'll be more. It's shot here in Atlanta, and it's really good. What I saw on set, it's going to be a really interesting show. It's a dark comedy about murder.
Mrs.
Rich
Thresh and
Snob.
I- Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Mrs.
cool.
Thresh and I wanted to watch it. So now that I know that you're in it, I'll definitely watch it. I'll watch for you in episode 4.
Awesome.
That's really
See,
cool.
I just don't have cable where I live, and so I
Peacock.
can't.
Peacock?
I don't. Well, I mean, I just have like the regular TV type of whatever it is, the free stuff that doesn't really have anything. But I
I
had
see.
to,
You don't have any subscriptions to streaming services. I got you.
yes, right, yes, correct. At this time in my life, I am ghetto. But soon
Don't say
enough,
that.
I won't be at some point in my life. I swear, promise.
Don't say that. And by the way, some of the Mahogany Babes, of course, Uhura, Nichelle Nichols, but there was a
Oh,
real
yeah.
attractive. I don't know if she was.
Good night,
It doesn't
Tracy.
matter. But I'm just in Operation Annihilate, one I mentioned before. She was. I don't know the actress's name, but she was very attractive. One of the officers in the red female yeoman outfit. I don't know her name, but watch that episode again, Operation Annihilate. You'll see what I'm talking about. She was gorgeous.
Yeah, I couldn't find any Star Trek original series on today to watch. All I could find was TNG, Deep Space Nine. I'm like, well, that's not going to help me.
I watch Star Trek every Saturday night on MeTV. I record it and then I usually watch it on Sunday morning, but I didn't watch it this morning, so I've got it on DVR.
Well, we got to do this again real soon, guys.
Yeah, that's a hit. Yeah, we got to wrap. Yeah.
All right, guys. So everybody say goodnight.
Night, guys.
Happy trails.
Peace.
Yes. Live long and prosper. The whole 920 yards. I'm ending the stream. It's really hot here still.
Live long
Goodbye.
and prosper.
I
Thanks for
don't know
inviting
what
me.
salute that is, Dan. That doesn't make any sense to me. What is this? What are you doing? It's that. Pause is gone.
Sit right back, it's time to show. With Pons and Dan in a TV flow. Geeks for sure with tales to tell. Every Sunday is pretty swell. Good times here, you'll want some more. Remember days you can't ignore. Kids and family, friends so dear. Join us now, the crew is here. On the auditor, save the world with Sarah at their side. Oh girl, Sunday's fun with joy and cheer. Flip side, flip, flip, so revere. Groovy shows from days gone by. Epic moments never die. Internet was such a blast. Fun with friends, let's make it last. Time to laugh and time to chat. Geek out hard and that's a fact. Sarah here to add the spice. Memories that feel so nice. Love the auditor, save the world with Sarah at their side. Oh girl, Sunday's fun with joy and cheer. Flip side, flip, flip, so revere. On the auditor, save the world with Sarah at their side. Oh girl, Sunday's fun with joy and cheer. Flip side, flip, flip, so revere. These shows from days gone by. Epic moments never die. Internet was such a blast. Fun with friends, let's make it last. Time to laugh and time to chat. Geek out hard and that's a fact. Sarah here to add the spice. Memories that feel so nice. Like the auditor, save the